Testing, testing. Let's see. Does this shit work at all? That looks good. Looks like the fucking audio is coming through. Let's see.
Welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. Today is not a video episode, and we're going to tell you why. Today's episode was originally intended for the Patreon that we do. We do an extra episode every week on Patreon for $5 a month, and this one was just really wild. You know, I had a little bit of an out-of-body experience, and I felt that, and a lot of the people that were members of the Patreon they'd kind of given me the license. They said, you got to get this out there. This should be shared. Now, let me say this with the episode. I was being a bit wild. I stand behind everything I say. I respect the people that I talked about comedically. Maybe I said somebody was a monster. They might not be a monster, but I don't know that. But sometimes people's behavior is monstrous. Yes or yes. So we had to put this episode out. I don't know that this will be the top of the YouTube monetization thing. I don't really think that's the case. But the episode, when we started it, we had no idea where it was going to go. We didn't know it was going to go to the place it was going to go. And I'd kind of had enough with a few different
solo. Let's get it fucking done. What the fuck is this?
Prevailing sentiments that are bouncing around Los Angeles and Hollywood and the larger, media landscape. And I had sat for a week of watching every celebrity go out and tell everyone to vote. And I had just found that what an unhealthy place that we have to, what an unhealthy country we got to tell you to vote. We got to tell you to vote. The guy, little Dicky, has to go out and tell everyone to vote. I mean, it's just, to me, I share it all in the episode. I'm not trying to ruin what what has been called a very good episode. That will potentially anger a few people. And it's not meant to. It's meant to maybe open a dialogue. I imagine it will not. Dialogue does not seem to be the direction most things are going in. But I think this is as strong as an episode as I've done in terms of kind of the things that I believe and communicating them in a way that I find to be funny or maybe a bit crazy. And I'm not attacking anybody. I'm attacking ideas and things that I think are wrong, and only making the people that I talk about on this episode, or the sentiments that they express, I feel only strengthen the things that they really hate, like Donald Trump. And so, ironically, you could maybe say that I'm trying to help them. Okay? You could say that. I'm trying to help. Now, is that going to be the first word that comes to mind when the episode is heard? Probably not. But having slept on it for a few days, I tend to believe that I am trying to help. That's all. And that's where we're at with this. I don't think it's a big deal that there's no video.
Enemies are dropping into the area.
I love audio. I'm an audio boy. You know what I look like. I'm not selling that. Okay? You know, if you need, go get a potato and put a Marlboro Light in its mouth and watch that and then press play on your phone. If you need to truly experience the visual.
All stations, we are
Whether I listen to Stern, whatever I was listening to, Limbaugh, any of those guys when I was growing up, it was always driving
This is fucking crazy.
around in a car. Now, some of you guys,
What the
Work came
fuck?
down. We are green to go. So gear up, grab your shoots. We're going to the war zone. Rules of engagement are simple. Weapons free on all threats.
of yourself in a mirror, does it make you physic?
Let's get this done.
I really just hit the wall. And I had to say something.
Battle Royale.
And, you know, you could call me a alt-right or Trump guy. Or I didn't vote for Trump. I don't think Trump's doing a good
Gas
job.
is approaching on your position. Move to the safe zone. Strongholds located. Targets
I don't think
marked
that's
on your
controversial either. I think people like Ann Coulter, who literally wrote the book that says, "In Trump we trust," no longer trust him. Okay? That should say something. But, you know, I also am not afraid. You can call me whatever you want. You can, you know, all these comedians that like behind the scenes or whatever, like say this and that about me, or it's fine. And respect to everybody who feels however you want to feel. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I think you are really strengthening authoritarianism and fascism in this country. A lot of people, unknowingly, maybe unknowingly. I think many of you don't know what you're doing. He knows not what he does, or she knows not what she does. I think people don't know what they're doing. I think when you're encouraging violence, what happened to Breonna Taylor was fucking horrific. And not one human being on this planet believes otherwise. Some of them do, but those people are absolute, you know, zeros that you can't include them in a conversation. Anybody that excuses what happened to George Floyd can't be included in the conversation. Doesn't mean they don't have the right to speak, means they shouldn't be taken seriously by human beings that want to live in a society, okay? It was bad policing, it was a bad judge, the no-knock warrant, and it's a bad law, okay? But the minute you co-sign violence against innocent people and the destruction of private property that innocent people own, and the minute you condone chaos and you say that should rule the day, you are opening up the gates of hell, which is the title of this episode. Giannis Pappas, a great comedian out of New York City, one half of the History Hyenas, said something on the phone with me the other day. Me and Giannis spend 7 or 8 hours on the phone every day talking about the fall of civilization. It's very healthy. And he said something. He said, we need to close the gates of hell. And it made me laugh. And I think he's right. And that doesn't mean that, you know, there's not a lot of hell with what the cops are doing. Because a lot of what the cops are doing has got to fucking, that absolutely has to stop. There should never be a no-knock warrant issued in this country ever again. I mean, there should not. I mean, Derek Chauvin should be killed in prison so he doesn't go to trial. I'm calling for his murder. I'm calling for Mossad to kill him. So he doesn't go to trial, maybe 12, because I think the law is not, he might get off.
Why is the audio
I'm
so...
saying get gut and get him. What's more progressive than that? But I don't understand what going into a restaurant and screaming in people's faces and attacking them. You create this binary of there's Joe Biden and the people that seem to support him. A lot of them, you know, not a lot of them percentage-wise, but in terms of what the media is showing you, are doing those things. And then on the other side of the equation, you have Donald Trump, who says law and order, and you get to go out to dinner without being attacked. And by the way, I don't think you want voters walking into a voting booth with that binary equation in their minds. I tweeted the other day. I said, if this is the strategy, maybe Trump should win. And what I mean by that, you look at the words there, it's like the strategy. That's what you think
I'm not even
is
a
going
good sniper.
to win, then Trump should win. Because what he's doing is essentially positioning himself as the candidate of let's have a society. Let's have a civilization. And again, I've articulated that I think Trump is a con artist, and I've articulated it on platforms much bigger than this. And I think I've probably nailed Trump and what he is more than most people talking about him, and the ones that he keeps up at night seem to never get what he is. They call him a Cheeto. The street. That's because you're not eating magic.
Gas is inbound.
I'm just saying Magic Spoon should have the Magic Spoon diet. They should just magicspoon.com/Tim Dillon to grab a variety so you get timely and thoughtful response. Patreon back to after 9/11. You got an email confirmation today at the Parker, the hotel. It is really a good move, and it's a easy move, and it's not expensive. So again, betterhelp.com/Tim D. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Patreon episode. Tim Dillon Show. I'm here with Ben Avery. We are sitting in an undisclosed location in the desert until things calm down. Went to lunch today at the Parker, the hotel in Palm Springs that has reopened. LA has now entered, I believe, phase, I don't even know anymore. Phase 4, terror threat level 3. We're in the red phase. I mean, we're right back to after 9/11. We're right back there with phases and color-coded warnings. And we're at a 25% opening. And I mean, could this have been handled, you know, I mean, it's just embarrassing. The Parker, you can't get onto the property unless you show that you made a reservation for the lunch for Norma's, the lunch restaurant at open table. So you pull up, the guy goes, you got an email confirmation? Yeah. Are you staying with us? No. And then the car in front of you, I mean, there's like an interrogation going on in the car in front. And I go, what are we getting in here? What are we doing here? Are we trying to get into Bohemian Grove? I want a fucking omelet. I told you that I have the confirmation. Oh, you doing COVID tests? You want to put something up my nose? You want to swab my brain with a Q-tip so I can get a nice keto omelet? Because I'm trying to change? Is that what you want to do? Does that make you feel better? You want to put a syringe of an experimental vaccine in my taint before I can walk into your fucking hotel? Can we stop, please? I went to a restaurant the other night. I was with somebody. They go, you got to sit next to each other side by side. I'm like, what are we, children having lunch? They go, oh, no, because... I said, why can't I take a chair and flip it on the other side of the table? The woman goes, well, no, because of social distancing, that's not allowed. I said, what's going on here? This thing is either you can get it from me and my friends, I'm going to give it to you if we're seated on the same side of the table, or I'm going to give it to you if I'm on the other side. I'm loud, and I scream, and I spit, and those droplets fly. So we're either in business or we're not. We're open or we're not. This fucking weird purgatory that we're all in, where every fucking company is open with a minimum amount of employees because these corporate overlord scum don't want to pay everybody. And the employees that are back have spent 7 months sitting on their ass, 5 months, sitting on their ass, dazed and confused and terrified. They have no idea what's going on. They don't know. Now they're going to have to adjust to making, 30% of what they used to make. Mm-hmm. And they're out of practice. Nobody knows how to perform a task efficiently. So you're talking to a bunch of zombies out there, a bunch of COVID zombies who don't know what's going on. I tried to get into the Apple store the other day. They treated it like I was trying to get into the headquarters of the Mossad.
Gas is closing in.
I said, I just want a MacBook. They said, do you have an appointment? I said, for Christ, no. I want a MacBook. They go, well, you can make an appointment, come back. I said, this is an impulse buy. Remember me and you? I'm like, I don't need a $2,000 MacBook. It's a dumb move. I wanted to do sketches on the road. We don't need it. We could go find something much cheaper that would be fine. I just wanted to upload things and blah, blah, blah. It's an impulse buy. It's a stupid buy. I just think it'd be a good idea. So now there's no impulse buy. You actually have time to think about the shit that you don't need and now won't buy. Because you go, I don't need this. You go home and you go, I don't need, it's jerking off before you meet somebody. You go, oh, there's no point now. I don't need to listen to the fact that you majored in marketing and you're not as close with your sister as you used to be. I don't need that. The poison's out. So if I drive back 10 miles to my house, I don't even Google the MacBook anymore. I just go, fuck it. Everyone will deal with the quality that we currently have. And it'll take us longer and it'll give me something to get angry about. But COVID has destroyed the idea of the impulse buy, the stupid American impulse buy, the rage-filled purchase, which is what a lot of purchases are. People are enraged for whatever reason and think that something they buy is going to help them. And with COVID, we can't have that. Everybody's got to sit back and really be contemplative about what they buy. And by the way, you want to talk about a death knell for this economy? It's thinking before you act. If you think before you act, this economy will collapse. If you have a moment to consider what that cruise is going to be like, you're not taking it. But if you just like an idiot, just say, fuck it, I'm impulsive, I want to do it, and you just do it. We were in Norma's, and the food there is good. It's a place, it's like a see and be seen place in Palm Springs. I don't give a fuck, you know? It's the reason I like the Beverly Hills hotels. It's like the food is good. If the food's not good, I don't care. I'm not living to be seen. I like the audio medium. I love audio. I don't watch any podcast.
Gas is closing in.
When's the Patreon going to have video? Is it going to have video? Shut up! What do you not know what I look? What do you think I'm selling my looks? What are you, nuts? My face looks like somebody took a fucking Brillo pad to it. I have horrible Irish skin. It's translucent. And it's blotchy and red. And you get it. And I have hair that's graying. Thank God I still have it. I mean, what do you need to see here? If I listen to a podcast, if I listen to a podcast, like sometimes I want to listen to experts, smart people, but I don't need to see them. So if I want to listen to smart people who know their shit and have done their research, like the other night I listened to Candace Owens on Ben Shapiro. And if I put it on the counter and I put it play on the YouTube and
Gas is moving.
just go to bed. And I'm 10 minutes in, I'm out. I fall asleep to a podcast. Well, you know, Candace, I've grown up in California my entire life. You know, I've grown up in Sherman Oaks my entire life. And now that LA's a shithole. LA's a shithole, it's becoming a shithole. And I go to sleep to horror every night. I used to fall asleep to Alex Jones. Every night I would fall asleep to Alex Jones. That was my version of that rain app they're always trying to sell. Soft rain puts you to sleep. It's always like, relaxer. You need to relax? How about the winds of autumn? Well, my winds of autumn were, well, you gotta buy the fish oil. You gotta buy the colloidal silver. That was my winds of autumn, was Alex Jones telling me that I needed to protect myself against a globalist invasion of my own body that they were doing with fluoride in the water. And that was what I'd fall asleep to. But it's an audio medium. I prefer audio. So I don't care about like hotshot Hollywood place. I get that listen, everybody in Hollywood, you should be hot. You should look a certain way. I have an aesthetic that's built for the Northeast. This is just really a Northeastern aesthetic. I look really good in Boston. In a Dunkin' Donuts. In a town 10 minutes outside of Boston, I look like I should be there. But at some of these LA spots, I don't, but I'm there for the food. And the Parker's got killer food. And the Beverly Hills Hotel has killer food. I mean, good food. It's not cheap, but it's good. And the portions are actually big. That's another thing that's rare for LA. Usually it's rabbit food. Even on the Parker menu, there's a section that says rabbit food, but it's actually good food. And it's actually fairly, decently priced for what you get. There's a $1,000 omelet on the menu over there, and this is it comes out of New York City.
Gas closing in. Relocating
There's a
safe
restaurant
zone.
called Norma's that has a $1,000 omelet. And inside the omelet is lobster, chives, cream, probably little truffles, and then on top of the omelet is $650 worth of caviar, Asteria caviar. And you can get this at the Parker for $100, the smaller version. I don't get that. I get a crab salad and some other bullshit. Lettuce. But it's so funny because the it's called the $1 zillion frittata. Does anybody think we have an income inequality problem in this country? I don't. Do you? So they call it the $1 zillion frittata. Okay. How many people are on the verge of eviction here? The $1 zillion frittata. Okay? It makes you want to put on a black Antifa outfit, which they are slimming, and it makes you want to just run in there and start lobbing off heads. But and it's just such a fucking pointless. Nothing on a plate should be $1,000 ever. And I'm a fan of expensive food. I don't care about expensive clothes. But I do like good food, and nothing should be a G. Nothing. I mean, if you buy a ton of shellfish, in a nice steakhouse, you're with 6 or 8 people, that might run you $400. But $1,000 for anything on a plate is fucking absurd. And what it is you get all these people that go out there that want to impress other people at their table, and they buy the $1,000. But the truth is, nobody would know it's $1,000. You have to bring it up. Like, you have to tell the whole table it's a G. You have to stop someone's conversation. Go, so the omelet I ordered for everyone, did you look at the menu? And they go, no, what? Yeah, it sounds good. Lobster in the omelet. No. There's caviar on. Oh yeah. Caviar's cool, man. Thanks for ordering. No. Shut up. Look, it's $1,000. I'm spending a G here. And they go, oh my God, Graham, you didn't have to do that. Yes, I do. I have a medium-sized penis. And I don't get my trust fund for another 3 years. But I have enough money to buy this omelet. But you need to know it's $1,000. You need to know it's $1,000. So, of course, while we're sitting there eating lunch, Ben was hunting QAnon. He was hunting the real source of QAnon. Every now and then, Ben disappears into a hole during lunch, and he'll pop up just a little bit closer to QAnon. Just a few feet down the road on the way to QAnon.
You got gas moving.
Because it is a curiosity. I tend to believe that the fingerprints of QAnon are somewhere in the White House. I believe that. And that doesn't justify what QAnon's saying. Some of it is true. Some of it is indisputably true, and we've talked about it on the show. Much of it is not true. And I mean, Ben and I'm going to let Ben take it a little bit from here, because Ben has done a lot of research into who is Q. I tend to believe it's an ex-military or intelligence guy that was put up to this by somebody like a Steve Bannon or somebody in the White House. That's kind of what Alex Jones said about it. I haven't spoken to Alex about it in months.
Yeah, Alex says he knows who Q is. Remember, he was supposed to reveal it on M4.
Yeah, but he didn't reveal it. He didn't reveal it. His Q is my keto. Now, tell us a little bit about what's going on. This is an article with the ABC News, by the way.
Yeah, this was in the cover of the Dredge.
I'm getting a lot of press requests right now, and I'm not answering any of them because the press is scum. It's one of the things that Trump's 100% right about. You know, listen, the guy that wrote that article about Loose Change, that film, I didn't really talk about this. There was a guy from Esquire, he called me, he goes, I'm a big fan, and this is what everybody says, you're a big fan. Maybe he is a fan. And I'm not really angry at the guy. I'm annoyed because he wrote an article, and the article is a comprehensive history of loose change and the seeds it planted in our politics. He tried to draw a line from loose change to QAnon in the article. It was a sloppy line, and it wasn't really well done. What he was saying is
we got 4 people
that loose change, the film that came out, I believe, in 2007.
Throw me a like, throw me a follow, fellas.
Which, of course, was
Would
about
greatly appreciate
9/11. It was about, it was just, started or, 2005. So
First round.
the Loose Change came out April 13th, 2005. It was made by Dylan Avery. He was a 21-year-old amateur filmmaker. Loose Change was a documentary that posited a radical thesis. And this is out of the Esquire article. And then I'm paraphrasing here, but basically it's like, what if 9/11 was, we were not getting the full story of 9/11, that this was either an inside job or there was a massive cover-up. We all remember Loose Change, okay? And this article, and this guy's in Hollywood now, by the way. I think Dylan Avery trying to like break into movies. Yeah, he's trying to break into films. It's been a little tough. After you've done Loose Change, they don't want you doing Ratatouille 4. They probably don't want you. This is what I mean about you stay in your lane a little bit, you can't do everything. His thing on his bio, he goes, Dylan Avery is a filmmaker and the creator of Loose Change. At the age of 21, he had taken a few $1,000s and a compact Presario to make a documentary series which would be labeled the first internet blockbuster by Vanity Fair. And The Gone with the Wind of Conspiracy by Alec Baldwin. He has directed and edited and by the way, he's directed and edited music videos, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. It's successful people can say whatever they want about you. It doesn't mean you're ever going to work. That's what you learn. He's like, Alec Baldwin called this. Well, let him produce something you're doing. Call him. Right. Well, Alec Baldwin said it was the Gone with the Wind of conspiracies. Well, call him. Do you not have his number?
We'll be deploying shortly.
Are you not close? That's what I love about people just quote celebrities in their bios. Yeah, well, call them. What do you need us for? Right. But they made Loose Change, and this guy basically said that, was the modern conspiracy movement, was it born out of Loose Change? And I said, I don't think so. I said, I think QAnon's more like a religious movement. But I will say, I granted him this, the writer of the Esquire piece. Let's get his name up.
It is
John McDermott. Pull him up. Pull this guy up here. He's probably not a bad guy, but I didn't agree with the thesis. I said I don't. Here's where I gave him, I met him halfway. I said the way that Loose Change was produced, with the music, it was like a thriller. It was a conspiracy movie, but it was, it moved. It didn't lose your interest. You weren't bored. It wasn't one of these things about the Kennedy assassination that droned on for hours and people lost interest. This was a really well-made film made for the internet and for people's sensibilities, right? It was quick, and you were like, you were intrigued, and it was like political thriller / conspiracy. It was what JFK was, except made for the internet. But the article was more than laid the groundwork for conspiracy today. Now, what all of these journalists fail to do, by the way, what any of them fail to do, is this is their problem. This is their major blind spot. They have a massive blind spot. They don't grant the proponents of conspiracy theories anything meaningful. They just say, Epstein and Kennedy and sure, I guess, Iraq was a lie and there was a labyrinth of torture prisons that we were told had nothing to do with us and well, we designed those, and there were no WMDs, and I don't know. Like, they don't grant, and then so on the other side, you know what they never call a conspiracy? Jussie Smollett. Covington. They never use the word conspiracy to talk about blatantly false narratives that they have shoved down the throat of Americans who watch and consume news and are going, wait, what? This guy claimed he was attacked by MAGA hat wearing people in Chicago at 2 a.m. and they beat him with his own Subway sandwich? Or these white kids at a pro-life march went and attacked a peaceful Native American? And then we find the facts, but those are never conspiracy. Those are, oh, we got it wrong. And they barely admit that. They go, oh, well, new information is, well, new things have kind of happened and we're just, we're just following the leads. And no, you whipped the country up into a frenzy. I was angry. I tweeted right after the Covington thing happened. I said, some of these kids should be shot because it was just a school shooting. I thought that was funny. I still do. But then I realized that, oh, the wool was pulled over my eyes, and I reacted too quickly. Even just tweeting, I wasn't like condemning. I wasn't like, find the kid. You remember Kathy Griffin, all these people, find him, find his parents. Where do they live? Dox them. Get them. I was never going to do that. I just fired off a little tweet, which I deleted. But they never talk about those as conspiracies. They never talk about the Iraq War, where the New York Times, Judy Miller, wrote an article about enriched uranium. Dick Cheney used it as the case to go to war with Iraq. They never talk about that as a conspiracy, do they? They never use the word conspiracy. Conspiracy is always a pejorative, and it's always leveled to people outside of the mainstream. They attack Joe Rogan with it. They attack anybody that is independent, that came up or that has an audience primarily outside of the system of mainstream journalism. So none of these guys write anything of value to me because they operate from a place of dishonesty. They operate from a place of dishonesty. So when you have a guy writing an article about the modern conspiracy movement, which is nuts, we talked about QAnon. We know how retarded that is. We know how stupid that is. I have dinner with David Spade. He doesn't eat children. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. He eats a small filet and a salad and a lot of Jack and Cokes, but he doesn't eat children. It's just like not happening. Hollywood's not even fun. These parties that you people think are happening don't exist. I'm at Whitney Cummings' house, and she's telling me how many grams of carbs are in a popsicle. I'm telling you, whatever you think is going on here is not going on. Don't move here. Stay home. Get a family in a yard. You're having more fun. Have me to your house. Do you have real food, or do you have kale pops? Get some cheese doodles and a fucking couple of Bubba burgers, and I'll come to you. Because whatever you think's going on here is not happening. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't pedophiles in Hollywood doing fucking crazy things behind closed doors. But there's pedophiles in a lot of power cities. New York and Washington and all over the place. You think it's only Hollywood? Listen, go talk to your kid's gym teacher or fucking coach, because there's a lot of shit going on there, too. I'm not trying to defend Hollywood here. I'm just saying these lurid imaginations that everybody in Hollywood is like in some blood cult. It would be so much more interesting if it was like that. If Chrissy Teigen was part of a cult that ate children, she would interest me. I wouldn't condone the behavior, but I would be at least like, I would think about her more than once every 3 months. But I don't think about her because she's tweeting about fucking how much she loves Hillary Clinton and fucking avocados all day. I like tacos. Whatever she does. I started making fun of her a little bit at that Whitney thing for influencers. She was not happy about that. But Chelsea Peretti, I think, went at Whitney on Twitter, was like, hey, you shouldn't, if you're having influencer parties, like she unfollowed a few people because she thinks we're all trying to spread COVID. It's like, you know what? I'm a little sick of this idea that any of these people, I don't remember her being a proponent of Bernie Sanders. Was she? Was she allowed? And by the way, if I'm wrong, someone let me know. Was she really talking about Bernie Sanders? Because Bernie Sanders was the only candidate that was trying to give everyone in this country health care. So this idea that all of these people that didn't support Bernie, and many of them loudly, because his fans were misogynists, which they found more disturbing than people dying. They all went out and are now saying they're really concerned with COVID and people spreading COVID. But you weren't concerned about people's health a while ago because you supported Hillary both fucking times. And she didn't give a fuck, okay? She didn't really have. Now you say, oh no, she did care. She tried to do the first national health care. Yeah, it was an unserious attempt. It was foiled pretty quickly, and it didn't go anywhere. And then she sold the fuck out. So maybe let's give Hillary the benefit of the doubt. Maybe when she was in the White House in the 90s, she thought, I'm going to give people health care. But that was many years and a lot of speeches at Goldman Sachs ago. So let's not forget that Hillary took the journey that everybody else took. So this idea that all these Hollywood people are coming out and they're just so paranoid. We had a small comedy show in a back fucking yard. People are allowed to do things you don't agree with. I know your husband's a trillionaire and he's very talented and you have talent as well, but people are allowed to do things, Chelsea, that you don't agree with. You are not the dictator of this country because you have lots of money and your brother runs BuzzFeed. And somebody needs to tell these people in Hollywood that. You don't run the country. Your opinion is no fucking validity to it just because you have a lot of money. You sit on a stack of money and yell at everyone because some people have to go out and make a living and you can swim in your pool and tweet. These are children. These are ridiculous children. I'm a little sick of this. I don't give a fuck about any of these people. I truly don't. A fuck about any of them. Come on my show. I have a bigger audience than you. Your Twitter's fake. No one cares. You make institutional money. You get stuffed. You get money stuffed down your throat by a corporation, then you tell everybody how to live. Shut the fuck up. Truly. Have a dialogue with me. You would be on the floor, not physically, but intellectually, you'd be on the floor in a few minutes because you don't know anything you're talking to. You've never read a book. Cut it out. Now. You think you know anything? What are you, a virologist? You people on a basketball court having a party is a problem? Stop telling everybody that voted for Trump that they're Nazi scum. That's going to turn them into Nazi scum, by the way. Stop doing fucking events with Amy Poehler and whoever you're doing these events with. And Hillary Clinton's back from the dead. How do you want to lose again? Apparently so. Shut your mouth. And listen, I love Whitney to death. That fucking come vote comedy that they all did is an abomination. It was an abomination, and Whitney had the best set because she's a real comp, but that telling people to vote is the most patronizing shit ever. Shut your mouth. Do you have a voting plan? Yeah, it's hard to vote. It's annoying to vote. I tweeted about it today. It's annoying to vote. You can order a fucking Thanksgiving dinner with a click of your phone, and to vote, you got to go to a library that nobody knew existed 3 towns away. But guess what? If you're not going to do that, and I can't tell you to do that. It's my job to tell you to fucking vote. I'm going to tell you to vote. You're going to come to a nightclub, hear me talk shit about everybody and everything, and then I'm going to end it with a PSA and tell you to vote and eat your vegetables. I'm going to blow you. Some of these fucking hacks who keep talking about Steve Harvey and Oswald or even shit. You gotta go to a fucking library. Guess what? If you're not gonna do that, then I can't tell you to do that. It's my job to tell you to fucking vote. I'm gonna tell you to vote. You're gonna come to a nightclub, hear me talk shit about everybody and everything. And then I'm going to end it with a PSA and tell you to eat your vegetables and drink water and exercise. And remember to get moving out there. Why do you tell people to exercise? Same shit. After Coach is fat as fuck. Same thing. Tell him that. Make sure to keep moving, guys. That's better advice. Texting everybody about how they can go outside. And you get mad at Instagram. I'm sorry, you're not. Let's be friends. Let's not be working together. Want to try it? I'm in. I'm sorry. Someone for you, ladies and cutie. Ladies and cutie. You're right. Oh, not so much. You not so much. Me not so much. It's okay.
You got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Never met a black person, never went anywhere, never did anything cool. They were treated like shit in school, which is how they should be treated. They had no confidence in high school.
Enemies dropping into the AO.
Should have worked out. But instead, we stacked Hollywood and a bunch of nerds, and elevated tons of people that now want to lord over all of us like fucking. Imagine Jackie Gleason out there doing videos at this age. Can we calm down?
Gas is closing in.
I'm telling you to vote. Vote. And if you don't want to vote, don't fucking vote. I don't give a shit what you do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Want to run a couple of miles? Run a couple of miles. Want to swim? Swim. That's good. Hey, you don't want to do what the fuck am I here?
Supply boxes marked. Secure those locations.
Millionaires that pretend they give a flying fuck about anything you don't. The fuck off Twitter. Don't you have children? Doesn't anyone raise their children? Is every 5 minutes in these homes, mommy, give me the phone. These people aren't eating children. They're not even raising theirs. This is one of those episodes where another 10% of Hollywood is done with me. That's okay. Go right down there to Dallas. Not a problem. Be in a corporate steakhouse sitting in Paris. Not a problem. Don't care. Don't care. Woo! It's just I'm coming in hot today because it's enough is enough with every celebrity. Little Dicky uploading that he's naked with his dick between his legs. If you vote, I'll show you my dick. Should we exist? Dictator, tell me why we shouldn't have an authority. We are a disgusting slovenly country who've why don't you vote celebrities out? Vote them out. Vote them out, listen and watch other shit. Little Dicky's terrible. That show's funny. But those fucking things, this fucking fake fraud that everybody participates in every 4 years when they all decide that it's their time to act like fucking, you know, who's the guy that rode through the woods? Paul Revere. Paul Revere. Go vote! Voting! And this is not, I'm not saying you shouldn't vote. You should vote. Local shit's very important. You should vote federally. You should vote and do whatever you want. It's not my job. And it's not my job to tell you what risks you're comfortable with coronavirus. How did this become people's job? How did it become people's job to shame you? These are the same. Scarlet Letter, these are the same. I love that these people think they're progressive. You would have been burning witches.
Gulag blocked down. Area is clear.
And this is the person that just lectures people all day. She tries to destroy Joey Diaz's life. She told a story 7 years ago. And he's got a daughter.
Gas is moving.
Marry a millionaire. Joey didn't marry a millionaire. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm single. Or whatever. In his eyes. But whatever, I'm glad you're in love, and I'm glad you have a nice life. But you went to one of my friends and tried to take food out people, you know, and you go after people, and you think that we're all monsters. You're a monster, okay? That's the reality. You're a fucking monster. And you should fucking pay for Joey's daughter. You should fucking compensate for every ad dollar that he lost for some cuck company that fucking fell off his fucking podcast. And you people are so sick of going to festivals with us and fucking not doing that well. That's the reality. Having soft sets in front of the industry, going into fucking JFL and doing okay in front of the people that should fucking, you know. And what were you on again? Brooklyn Nine-Nine? That iconic, brilliant. Will you stop? Just be happy. Be happy it worked. Be happy it worked. And your brother runs BuzzFeed, which is trying to make us all get out and cut each other's faces open. Because every 15 minutes they run top 20 reasons to kill your parents this Thanksgiving.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
Am I missing something? We've opened the gates of hell. These people are standing at the gates of hell with fucking W.
25 remain.
Because they're...
They hit us hard that time. Let's regroup and get back up there. Yep.
I'm saying I'm talking about this attitude, and I think her husband's insanely talented.
You're losing ground. Move it.
Very, very more than me. Not really. But let's say that. Let's say that. We know that's not true. But let's say that. Maybe there's an argument for Mulaney. Whatever. You know what I mean? But it's just, there's a certain unfortunate attitude that is now pervasive, and it is everywhere in this town. And people go at Rogan and they say Rogan's this and Rogan's that. Rogan has done more for comics and asked for less in return than any human being I've ever met. Rogan has done nothing but help people. He's done nothing but put people on. He's done nothing but give people an opportunity to sit there for 2 hours or 3 hours and talk pretty much uninterrupted and get their fucking point of view out there. Okay? And the idea that this guy is like a transphobe because he doesn't want a man who a biological man who's transitioned to start beating a woman to a pulp in a ring. The idea that he somehow doesn't want that and that makes him some kind of devil is how sick we are. Truly. I'm just a little sick of it. I don't want to take that long of an aside to go through it, but I'm just a little sick of it. And this should have been the regular episode, to be quite honest. So don't get mad if we just replay this on the regular episode, because frankly, it should be heard by more people. So if we amputate this chunk and just throw it on the regular episode, don't feel like you got gypped. It just needs to be seen by a wider audience. Back to the Esquire article. Well, my schedule just got cleared up. There's a few parties I wasn't attending anyway that now I definitely... But you can see me in the Beverly Hills Hotel eating pancakes at Kato. So this lug who writes...
Gear up fast. We're about to get evil.
Folks, you're paying money for this. You might as well get your money's worth.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
It's kind of rough. So...
Enemy soldier incoming.
Am I wrong, folks? Is anything that I said not the facts of reality?
Prep time's over. Now you deploy to the war zone.
This guy's trying to...
Let's get that bird spinning. Finish up. We're airborne at 3. There you are. We got the green light. You're going to the war zone. Grab your gear and shoot. You're up in 3. Enemy activity will be high. Expect contact early and often.
Let's get this done. Battle Royale.
And in other news...
Gas gas is closing on your position. Suggest you hightail it out of there. Cash drop is en route.
Marking contract.
You got gas moving in.
There's three good financial journalists. There's Bethany McLean and two others I can't remember. Forbes is on the comedy beat. We're remaking. It's not just going to be about money and men now. It's going to be about funny ha-has. Luke, stop. Forbes magazine. You print lists of rich people. Go back to that.
Bounty targets identified. Weapons free.
Nobody wants you reviewing one-man shows in fucking Forbes. This week in Barron's, we review Nanette. Just talk about money. Birch Gold, you're looking outside, you're seeing people turning on the tables.
All bounty targets are KIA. Well done.
Chaos raining down on all the American cities. Well, this experiment's coming undone, isn't it? Well, we had a good run, folks. But what are you going to do? You're going to leave all that money in the stock market? You know, the stock market is soaring because it hasn't priced in any of the horror that you see when you open your front door. But you know what's going to happen. It's going to catch up sooner or later. And then what's going to happen? Deflationary spiral or inflation or stagnation or any of the words that are bad. Okay? The value of the dollar will plummet. Our credit rating will be slashed. We'll no longer be the world's reserve currency. We'll have to, have a war with China, maybe a cold one, maybe a hot one. I don't know. But in order to avoid that, you can contact Birch. Makes sense for you. It's a comprehensive 20-page kit, and it reveals how gold and silver can protect your savings and how you can legally move your IRA or 401k out of risky stocks and bonds and into a precious metals IRA. Most very wealthy people have a portion of their money in precious metals. It is a solid, stable investment. And this is really something that a lot of people are thinking about doing, especially because the financial market is a casino. And it's looking like very soon the chips they're going to be down. It's going to be a problem. So to get your no-cost, no obligation kit, text Tim to 474747. This is very easy. If you have a retirement account, and even if you don't, you can convert your tax-free retirement account into a tax-free precious metals account, an IRA. It's very simple to do, and it's great to diversify. If you have a few accounts, you might want to be in
loadout drop headed your way.
You have a retirement account, and you have a little money laying around you want to convert into precious metals. These guys can help you do it. Okay, they're one of the top dealers of physical precious metals in the United States.
You got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
So again, just get the kit, read up on it. What do you care? If you don't know, but you're going to get a 20-page kit that reveals how gold and silver can protect your savings. You'll find out what you want to do.
Secure the supply boxes. Locations are marked on your DAC map.
For a limited time, see how you can qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals on your purchase. Can you imagine that? $10,000 free precious metals on your purchase. Text Tim to 474747. Text Tim to 474747. Folks, listen. If you're scared of baldness, and you should be, So much of your identity is wrapped up in your hair. From how it feels getting a fresh cut to the way it's perfectly styled before going out. That's why when we get into our 20s and 30s, people start noticing their first signs of hair loss. You got to get keeps. Simple and easy way to keep your hair. 2 or 3 guys will experience it.
Gas is inbound.
Just have to go to the doctor's prescription thanks to keeps. The doctor online with hair loss medication delivered right to your home. They make it easy and deliver your medication every 3 months so you can say goodbye to pharmacy checkout lines and awkward doctor visits. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there, so you know what this is. Cheap. Same active ingredients in a generic thing, sent right to your home. Keeps treatments typically take between 4 and 6 months to see results, so it's important to act fast. The sooner you start using Keeps, the more hair you'll save. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. So you got to get in. You start seeing baldness. You get into this 4 or 6 months in, and basically you're gonna have a full head of hair. It's gonna be good. I'm telling you right now, it's very important to really take care of
Contract failed. You lost the objective.
you know, physical things. You know, and that is what I've spent my career doing, is keeping myself in
Vehicle marked.
shape.
Marking contract.
Looking delicate, treating my body like a temple, you know, a temple from Sri Lanka where the Tamil tigers would meet before they blew themselves up, but a temple nonetheless. That's a joke for people that have a brain. Some of you might, many of you do not. But you all have hair, and you're gonna lose it. Is this for the ladies? Is this just for the men, or is this for the ladies?
So, if all the Q drops are on 8chan, people are saying Watkins can know who this is, he can put a stop to this at any moment, or he can figure out who this is. So, a lot of people are saying
I like to just by Hot Wheels. Like he's born, he has a real problem. And
it took like the third
creator of 8chan, right? Yeah.
He helped build it.
Let's have a little fun. You know, my arms and legs don't work. Let's have a little fun out there. Let's spin the wheels a little bit. Literally and figuratively.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Look, the owner of 8chan.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. It's the owner of 8chan. You're just going, I'm the owner of 8chan.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 8kun.
8kun. Yeah,
8kun, sorry.
Whatever.
Oh boy. So you're saying that why? I'm chewing ice here.
I don't know. I heard that he might be intelligent because his mother worked for Boeing. He was in Virginia for a long time. I don't know. You leave 3 weeks to the Philippines after 9/11.
Yeah, it's always a good sign. Real patriot, huh?
Right.
Real patriot. Let me desert my country in its hour of need. Head over to the Philippines.
So Brennan says we're seeing Akon kind of morphing away from white supremacy and Nazis and into QAnon. Brennan told ABC.
Gas is closing in.
He's totally cabbage.
Creative differences.
Copy. UAV is on station. Recon online.
So we're thinking that what you were saying is very interesting. Definitely knows QAnon's IP address. I haven't really looked at it. Right, but I mean, he's a company.
So who knows?
I go, dude, okay, you're cool. If she said I've been just doing all those Q drops, that's me. All these weird, like all these older paleo conservatives, they all have the same look. Like this guy, Steve. I'm gonna blow your mind. You want me to blow your mind? JFK is not dead.
About Jack Ruby? When are we gonna talk about that?
Shut up and listen to me. JFK is not dead. He's living in a military installation under this X. And you're gonna be surprised. He's gonna come out on election day with his son, JFK Jr., also not dead. And they're gonna bring Ruth Bader Ginsburg out, not dead, and execute her for crimes against humanity. Wake up.
Dude, I'm a fucking conspiracy theorist, but you're out of your fucking mind.
This fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, you paid for this, and you're getting a better tour than you would ever get by some of these fucking hacks who keep talking about Steve Harvey Oswald or any of this shit, okay? I'm telling
Steve Harvey
Oswald. The real fucking deal. There's a storm coming. Are you ready for it? You know who JFK is married to right now? No. Princess Diana. I am the guy to keep the score. Why? I worked at the 9/11 gift shop. When TWA Flight 800 went down, I jumped into the ocean to recover parts of the plane, okay? Have you heard of the Hale-Bopp Comet? You know anything about the Rosicrucians, the Sumerians, the Knights Templar? These are soldiers in the War of Light.
You belong in a fucking home.
Do you think there was a second shooter?
You're still talking about a president who was not killed and is not dead. I'm trying to wake you up to the real shit. Satan, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Chrissy Teigen, David Spade. Get it?
I'm hungry as fuck.
He's not buried. He's living in a military installation, and he's gonna come above ground on election day and arrest Tom Hanks and Chrissy Teigen. What is so hard to fucking understand? JFK is alive. What the fuck is going on? Whoa. What's going on? What the fuck? I didn't do anything. I'm right. I'm right.
I think he might be right.
Use this time for some target practice. Real things coming soon.
I mean, because I can.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
C'est réglé.
What the fuck is going on?
Ça marche pour moi.
Senator, just some time for a quick interview?
All stations, green light. We are deploying to the war zone.
What?
Irregularities in the mail-in voting?
I don't think there are any irregularities in the mail-in voting.
Rep for dust off. We're up in 3 mics. Let's move. Gang's all here. Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up, grab your chutes. We're going to the war zone. Enemy activity will be high. Expect contact early and often.
This is a vulgar
I'll see you on the other side. Battle Royale.
Well, we're actually going to discuss that right now.
Keep clear of that gas. Get to the safe zone.
Just that.
Be advised, cash drop is
Marking
inbound.
contract.
It's an election year, and there's a lot of interested parties, and what we're trying to do is safeguard a democracy of the people, for the people, by the people. That's what we're doing. How did you find Clever boy, huh?
That's pretty good.
You're losing ground. Move it.
Devil Assassin, I very much appreciate that in the kick chat. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. What are you doing for Christmas, Devil's Assassin?
Get after him.
Then it's going to be 3 or 4 months of doing nothing. This fucking what I was
I
going to
imagine it's for the Devil's Assassin, it's probably a busy day. Damn, that fucking controller's dead.
Happy doing these month and a half intensive tours and then fucking being done with it. Because you know, enough's enough. I can reach more people like this. To be honest,
What? Is this not gonna work?
You know, comedy club by comedy club, you know? And they're all lovely environments, these comedy clubs. They're all great, you know? I have owners of clubs coming in and giving me odds as a gift.
I guess that's not gonna work. Fuck my face. With a rusty spoon.
I'll pass. Have to do with the shows, which are the most fun. It's every other minute and hour of the day getting to that stage that is taxing. So, you know, we're out. When we're out. Come see us. We have a lot of fun. And then when we're in, we're in. And that is what I've learned about this pandemic, is that it reprioritized a lot of things for me. Digital already. That's
You gave it a solid try.
the future. Is not
Time to head back to base.
comics, and I love
The enemy took that one, but we'll get them back.
wherever they can, and I get it, and I respect the hell out of that. That is not the future. That is over. And I don't know what to tell you. It's not, maybe you don't know what Arizona is absolute. I mean, it has no redeeming qualities. It is a hot, arid desert landscape with some of the trashiest, least intelligent human beings to have ever, you know, graced the fucking, you know, planet here. It is bad. There's some hot people. There's some probably big OnlyFans accounts. There's some aspiring porn stars. There's a few guys it's probably fun to get into a Ponzi scheme with in Scottsdale. There's a few people that own houseboats on Lake Havasu, and it's probably fun. It's a great place to be when you're 23 and you're trying to fuck or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I've had fun. The shows are fun. The crowds are fun. The crowds always, they also feel like it's like, you gotta, if you lose them for a minute, you know, God only knows what happens here. God only knows what. People are just screaming. People are yelling and screaming. It is truly an embarrassment, the state of Arizona. It's just no other way to put it. You know, the owner of the club is like, I'm staying in this place, Peoria. The owner of the club's like, oh, you're staying in Peoria. What are you doing? And I'm like, buddy, the whole fucking state should be firebombed. What are you, out of your fucking mind? You think you have an estate in the Pacific Palisades? It's a you're on the surface of Mars here, and everybody's a retard. So what does it fucking matter where I am? The whole place is shit. It's irredeemable. One of your best restaurants in Phoenix has fried bread. It's called the Fry Bread House. And they take refried beans and put it on fry bread. It's disgusting. I've really had it with the West. I really have. The country shot. I drove from Utah to fucking Arizona. I'm sick of the red clay canyons and the general store. I'm sick of that hokey horse shit, frontier town crap. It's enough already. Grow the fuck up. I'm sick of it. Give it back to the Indians. Give it back to them, the Native Americans. My apologies. But the country's shot. It's disgusting. The Grand Canyon. We passed that. Looks the same as it did when I was a kid. It's disgusting. Do something else. It's just enough already with these. And of course, I'm with this 24-year-old who's opening for me. I love him. He's an idiot. So, I mean, he's like, oh, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it nice? You stop. It's not nice, and it's not beautiful. Civilization is beautiful. People working is beautiful. Not rock formations. Get out of the national parks, please. You know what's beautiful? Families, progress. That's beautiful. Not a red clay rock formation that looks like somewhere aliens land and face fuck you. Oh, Zion National Park is so beautiful. Yeah, it's great. Can you get me to Arizona, please, so I can perform for these fry bread heads? So I can get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. These fucking tan, leathery people spent their entire life just fucking marinating themselves in vodka. I mean, I appreciate Arizona. They're open. They're letting shows happen. I'm down with that, man. They're letting things happen. We're all taking a few risks. These motherfuckers do not care. They are out there, maskless, just fucking partying. What are you gonna do? You gotta live. We gotta do things. Some people don't wanna live. That's the other thing. I mean, we're all creating government policy based on the idea that everybody wants to be here. That isn't true. A lot of people's actions suggest otherwise. So let them. Infections are now up in New York City. What did they try to do? They tried to shut down the Hasidic Jews.
Yes.
Because the Hasidic Jews aren't having it in New York.
Yeah.
They're not having it. And listen, they're doing what they want to do. So Meatball and de Blasio, who are destroying the city and state, respectively, are now picking on the Jews. Because nothing else is going right. Because the economy can't reopen. Because they've destroyed the entire city. So now they're picking on the Hasidic Jews who they really don't bother anybody. They walk around with big hats, and some of those hats are furry, and I like those hats. I don't know what they call them. I always wanted to wear one, without, culturally appropriating or being a victim of a hate crime. What is that hat called?
It's called the Strime or Shabbat hat.
You don't know what you're talking about. There's another type of hat that's furry. It's like a big furry hat. By the way, I watched that documentary about Hasidic Jews, One of Us, and it was supposed to be groundbreaking, and it was just the same. They're like, during a divorce, there's a war in the family. I'm like, it's the same shit. Can we stop pretending everything's so fucking different, please? The Hasidic Jews are the same as these people who want to get drunk and like have sex. They just don't give a fuck. They don't care. If they're gonna go, they're gonna go. Stop trying to keep everyone on earth for what? I mean, this country is going to hell, and everybody wants to keep everyone here. No, there are no jobs, and everybody goes, we need more people to not do the jobs that don't exist. God forbid anyone die. God forbid the unemployment office line's a little shorter. If you take away people's freedom and you make them live in a fucking prison of apps and algorithms, they are going to rebel because that is not a life. That is not a life. They want to be free. Trump is running, as Ty Rivera, who's opening for me, very funny comic said, Trump is running with freedom. Biden is running with maybe more lockdowns, maybe more. It's probably going to be neck and neck. But I will say this, if you're running as a candidate of making decisions and being free, you might win in this country. Because we are deeply uncomfortable. People like me are deeply uncomfortable with just having a federal government stop us from working indefinitely for something where there may not be a vaccine. This may be the best we do. We may have to let herd immunity build up. There isn't another option. The economy cannot be decimated completely to protect a small amount of people. Doesn't mean that COVID isn't real or that it isn't serious or that there aren't lasting effects. All of that is true. And it is tragic. tragedy in this country is it's all tragic, by the way. You know, what about the people? Remember pre-COVID, all the people that didn't get health care and dropped dead? Was that not tragic? What about the soldiers who got back from Iraq who didn't have mental health care and they blow their brains out? A staggering amount of them every month. Was that not tragic? Is this the only fucking thing that's tragic, by the way? Is coronavirus? Is there anything else that fucking upsets you people? How about the kids who go to bed hungry every night? Is that tragic? How about all the people whose jobs were shipped to Bangladesh and they were told to rot in towns and do opioids with their kids? Is that fucking tragic? Or is there no fucking tragedy that doesn't begin and end with a fucking cough? Okay? Let's rein it in here. Act like a fucking adult. Everything's tragic. Life is suffering in hell. Not for me at the moment. I'm in a nice Airbnb, but it ain't great. I don't like the design scheme. It's fucking Arizona. It's the best we're gonna do. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. This attitude now that this is the only problem we've ever faced. Nobody ever died before this. God forbid. I'm not saying you shouldn't protect yourself. If you're immunocompromised, or if you don't want the risk, you don't have to buy a ticket to one of my shows. I think you should buy it and come. Nothing would make me happier. Nothing would make me happier than to sell out these shows and have no one come and walk out on the stage and say, my fans are responsible, and then go back to the Airbnb. So please, if you are responsible, buy tickets for Chicago and Denver and Kansas City and Oklahoma City and do not come. None of you come. Just sell out the venues. Let me walk in.
Got 5 people in the Rumble room. Go ahead and throw me a like, throw me a follow. We'll be starting up here in just a second.
I come, I get the check. I never need to work. I don't need to work. And I think people who do are very sick. I need to earn money. I get that. I don't need to work for it. Yelp is now Yelp. This is where we're at. We have police brutality. We have a very bad situation with Breonna Taylor with the no-knock warrant, which is one of the stupidest things that I've ever read about, have known about. The idea that the government can enter your house without knocking in the middle of the night, to me, is fucking insane. We have that. We have Derek Chauvin stepping on a man's neck for 9 minutes almost, killing him. We have protests erupt all over the country. We have instances of police brutality on film and on camera. Police need to be retrained. They need to be demilitarized. They need to reestablish, trust with communities. There needs to be more community policing. There needs to be more stuff to fight poverty in those communities so that people aren't necessarily given no other option but to embrace a life of crime.
All right, let's get a fucking.
Now we're not doing any of that. But
Let's see.
Yelp has stepped in and is now allowing fat Americans to identify which restaurants are racist, because like everything else in America, the solution involves food and dining. There's nothing in America that doesn't involve food. Remember when the Proud Boys and Antifa were fighting? They were throwing milkshakes. They were throwing milkshakes at each other. It was a dessert-themed revolution here. And now, to correct police brutality, we now have Yelp stepping up and going, hey, let's identify which Del Taco has a Nazi working there, or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Just some guy that hands you a taco and looks at you and goes, you know, the food's okay, but these people gotta go. And you're like, God damn it. What is this, Yelp? Can you fill us in on this? Because this is fascinating to me. Can't I say any restaurant is racist if I don't like it? It looks like. And I will do that. I have a list of restaurants right now that I think I will say that they're racist.
Yeah, the latter, racist behavior alert to a business page when it has evidence of racist action from a business owner or employee. And
Can they do that to podcasts? You better not do it to podcasts. I'll tell you that much.
To determine if an alert is warranted, Yelp said it will rely on and link to what it calls independent
we stay at the Best Western in Bryce Canyon. Fine. You know, we leave that, we drive, we end up somewhere, a restaurant, and we have 2 steaks. The guy told me, he's like, you should get the bison. I said, you should get out of here. So we have 2 steaks, they're overcooked. Whatever.
Check your weapons, check your gear. We're holding for deployment.
Alright, feeling good about this one, fellas.
What is to stop me? I'm saying that when the waitress put the steak down on my table, she looked at me and she whispered, Heil Hitler. And then walked away. What is to stop me from doing that?
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
From doing that. You know?
Let's get that bird spinning. Finish up. We're airborne in 3. Gang's all here. Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up, grab your chutes. We're going to the war zone. Enemy activity will be high. Expect contact early and often.
Let's get this done. Battle Royale. You got gas closing in fast. Unass yourself to the safe zone.
It's also like the restaurants that are really racist are poor restaurants.
Marking contract. Cancel that.
Gas is inbound.
The guy starts asking me for tickets to the show. I'm like, it's sold out. He's like, there's nothing you can do. Bitch, I don't know you. You're doing laundry in the place I'm paying to stay. You're not watching your daughter who's trying to get in the room, and your coked out roommate is walking around the backyard at 2 a.m. like he's about to do a home invasion. No, there's nothing I can do. I don't review him negatively. I refuse to review him. I'm not a rat. I'm not a rat. I just don't review. My mistake, my fault. I don't review. I say, I either review the Airbnbs very well, or I don't review them at all. That's it. That's the game that I play. I don't want to destroy that guy's business. Now, should it be destroyed? Unquestionably. I mean, the house was a construction site. Everything was a problem. The parking, everything. It was large cinder blocks everywhere. He had different people in the yard. You could have easily justified writing the worst review ever, but I did not do it because I'm not a rat. I do not feel comfortable.
Well, fucking stream, man. Can't get the video to fucking play.
Destroying somebody's ability
God
to earn
damn.
money. Maybe the next person will like that. Maybe his next guest is all coked up and likes strange people and children wandering in the house, and maybe that's part of the fun. Maybe that makes their vacation better. But not me. But I don't. Let this motherfucker do what he wants to do. Fine. Doesn't matter to me. Maybe he will. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But I'm glad that Yelp is now solving the problem of racism, so you can go identify if the waitress at Applebee's was right. And by the way, aren't these major corporations going to start to sue Yelp for this?
You got a loadout drop inbound.
Sue Yelp.
Gas is closing in.
Folks, just eat your food and move on, you fat fucks. Jesus Christ. Green cactus. Just eat the taco.
You bitch. Alright, that wasn't the best showing, but I was pissed off about this fucking podcast. It won't fucking load.
This is really just creeping in.
Senator, do you have some time for a quick interview?
I'm on my way to a meeting.
It'll just be a few minutes.
What?
Do you have any comments on the irregularities in the mail-in voting?
I don't think there are any irregularities in the mail-in voting. I think the Republicans knew that. They knew it when they were advocating mail-in voting. This entire thing is a spectacle.
What do you think about the debate so far?
I think this administration does not treat any of our democratic process with dignity and respect, okay? This is a vulgar and crass administration. This is ridiculous. America is built on customs, traditions, rituals. It's built on respect for institutions. This administration has none of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. Nothing would make me happier than to sell out these shows through Utah. We stay at the Best Western in Bryce Canyon. Fine. You know, we leave that, we drive, we end up somewhere, a restaurant, and we have 2 steaks. The guy told me, he's like, you should get the bison. I said, you should get out of here. So he's out there at 2 a.m. just stop to the side of the restaurant, like the people that check you. I mean, just crazy bad. Just crazy bad. We would hand out crayons.
Gear up fast. We're about to get evil.
Through the yard.
Enemies dropping into the AO.
Just taking out the garbage at fucking 2 a.m. That's my roommate. Let me tell you right now, the guy starts asking me for
All things in green light. We are deploying to the war
I
zone.
fucking can't tell where we left the fuck off. Isn't that fucking great? Isn't that fucking fantastic? Isn't that fucking amazing?
Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up, grab your chutes. We're going to the war zone. You are cleared hot on all threats. Watch your ass down there.
Spectacular.
Let's get this done. Battle Royale. Gas is closing on your position. Suggest you hightail it out of there.
Marking contract.
Hold on a second. PayPal.
Soldier incoming.
You know, Kamala's got whatever she's got going on. I don't even know
That's
her race.
it.
I'm not even
You
gonna
love it.
speculate.
Gas is moving.
I don't know that changes anybody's mind.